Why are you kicking against the goads? That was like such a powerful question. I mean, I have read that verse countless times and I never truly grasped it, never gave it a second thought until I sat at that men's breakfast and I heard the pastor saying that very expression. Why are you kicking against the goads? Hi, my name is Vince, aka Vinni Mac, and welcome to another episode of Insights with Vinni Mac. I'm an everyday dad having conversations with people like yourself, helping you transform your lives from where you are to where you are capable of being. And I do it by having insightful conversations, pulling knowledge from my understanding of the Word of God, as well as my understanding of the coaching sphere, and amalgamating the two to provide you with content that can help you unlock who you truly are. If these are the type of conversations you want to be involved in or you would like to listen to, then please, by all means, subscribe to the channel, like the content, comment. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your take and your feedback on the topics that I'm sharing on this particular channel. Getting back to the topic, why are you kicking against the goads? When my life fell apart, when I was like, when my business failed and my marriage failed, I was like technically unemployed, technically homeless, and when I was at my lowest point, when I was about to commit suicide, I remember just that feeling of despair and destitute, like coming over me and really strangling me. And I wanted to give up. I looked up at the heavens, and I remember distinctly breaking down and crying in that moment. And I said to God, just open up the earth and just swallow me in, please, because I do not want to be here anymore. And it was as if God was speaking to me in that moment, and He was like showing me the reasons why I had to live, He was giving me reasons for living. I have two amazing daughters that are just really in my life, and they are my focal point. So whenever I'm going through difficulties, I reflect to them, and I use them as a guiding point, as a motivation, as a reason to get up again and to keep pushing and to keep going forward. And when I sat at that men's breakfast and I heard the pastor saying that, why are you kicking against the goads? It was as if I was having the flashback to that particular night. You see, at that night, at that moment, I didn't hear that question, I didn't understand that question, but it was as if God was giving me the revelation of what actually happened in that night, in that moment. You see, kicking against the goad goes back to an ancient Roman expression or Roman or Greek expression back in the day. Back then, the farmers used to use the oxen to plow the fields for them. And the oxen used to have these yokes over their necks that kept them in line. So in other words, they couldn't move left or right. They just had to move in the direction that the farmers were steering them. So when the oxen got tired and they got stubborn and they didn't want to move anymore, farmers would use these long sticks and poke the oxen. The sticks had sharp points at the tips. So these were basically called goads. And it was like difficult for the oxen to kick against these goads because they were bound by these yokes, so they couldn't move anywhere else. And they had no choice, they had to just carry on moving, carry on plowing the fields. And that is where the expression comes from, kicking against the goads. Trying to go against something that is totally futile, or making an attempt against something that is completely futile, resisting something that is futile. And I remember reflecting back and looking back at that night and, that feeling of despair, that feeling of destitute that I felt at that night. I was trying to acting out against something completely futile. I was trying to resist what I was going through in my life at that point in time. And that resistance, that futile attempts of resisting what was happening in my life brought me to that low point in my life. I was resisting the goads. I was resisting the chaos and the turmoil that was happening in my life. Because I was so focused on everything that was going wrong in my life at that point in time. And I couldn't see the opportunity that was starting to happen for me. There was the opportunities that were opening up for me. And that is what, possibly where you are right now. You looking at your life and you're saying, you know what, nothing is happening in my life. I'm feeling stuck where I am in my life right now. I am not moving forward. I cannot see a way out of this. And I'm telling you right now, you are kicking against the goads. You are looking at everything that is wrong in your life right now, and you are focusing all your attention on just that particular matter. But if you just take one step in a different direction, just switch your gaze slightly, and if you continue to take another step after that, and another one after that, I am telling you 5 months, a year from now, you won't be kicking against the goads. You'll be kicking down doors. You'll be creating opportunities that you didn't even know existed. I'm speaking from experience because I know I couldn't see anything past the turmoil that was happening in my life. I couldn't see past my marriage falling apart. I couldn't see past a business that had failed. I couldn't see past the fact that I was unemployed and technically homeless. And when I was kicking against the goads, that was all I was looking at the time. But by making that slight shift in my vision, in my view, opportunities started opening up for me. And there's nothing special about me. There's nothing great about me. I'm a father who has 2 daughters that he loves very much. And I just decided to start taking steps in the direction that would help me give them the life that I desire to give to them. And I'm continue taking that steps on a day-to-day basis. I still have a long way to go in my journey, but you know what? I understand elements like the compound effect. I understand elements like slight edge. I understand elements like atomic habits, where you put small steps into place on a consistent basis, where you identify yourself as being the person that can achieve the outcomes that you are desiring to achieve in your life. Nothing great about me, nothing special about me, just a man that is following a path consistently. Never fail to realize that if you perform on a consistent basis, let's just commit 5 or 6 months of your life to performing a goal consistently. In a year, 2 years time, you can have outcomes you would have never dreamed of possible. And that is what I'm trying to encourage you today with. That is what this video is all about today. It's about encouraging you to just take the steps. Stop kicking against the goats and just take the steps, shift your focus, and move towards the person or becoming the person that you desire to be. It's possible. Okay, so this is Vinni Mac saying, change your thinking, change your world.